Yo guys, welcome back patrons, members. We're doing our follow-up video here for September. We went through the monthlies and now we're going to do our weekly rundown. So we're going to take a little closer look here. We're going to see some different things. We looked at the monthly and we're going to be seeing the bigger picture. As we zoom in here to the weekly, we're likely to get a little bit more detailed view, maybe a little more actionable, and trades potentially that aren't going to take quite as much patience as those on the monthly. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here on the weekly with total. You guys know, you've seen me post about it. I won't shut up about it. Total market cap is just beasting. It's beasting. Guys, this is what we're following. We are traders in a crypto space. The crypto space is not really defined yet. And so there isn't necessarily one path that's going to be the right path to follow continuously. We've paid a lot of attention to Bitcoin dominance in the past, and really just like everything else, it works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, we try to find something else. And total crypto market cap, guys, this is our edge. This is the edge that we have right here. Crown Channel, no one else. Yes, other people look at total, but I honestly don't believe people are seeing the value that we're seeing. So we're going to start here. Check this out on the weekly. We're really going to be rehashing here, but double top on the weekly. Slightly lower high. We have a lower high in RSI. We have a lower high on MACD. We don't even have bearish divergence up here. But on the weekly, we're high above the 20. Last week, our candle closed after trading very bearish engulfed with a rejection of that engulf. And we see our open here into this week at 2.12 trillion. That's likely to be a local support for the weekly. But this is maybe the easiest call there is. Total looking to retest that local weekly resistance above at 2.35 trillion. That's just retesting the high. We can keep doing this, yeah, and that would suck to just, we'd have to have patience. We can keep retesting this, put in higher lows, but this is bullish. I don't care what Bitcoin's chart looks like if total is sitting in this condition. This is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. This is wildly underrated. People aren't talking about this. Money flow actually not quite what I was hoping to see. And we see that we have a lower high here on our flow. However, just look at this structure. This is it. This is going to give us an upward bias for everything in the space right now. With Bitcoin dominance hitting what looks like for now a double bottom. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of those. But on calculated charts like BTCD, I think they're going to be more reliable than the price charts we typically look at. With that hitting a double bottom, that really does set this up for the end of this quarter to either run into our target on Bitcoin 58.8. We might see alts take some punishment there if dominance is reversing during it. And that can really set us up for our Q4 six-figure targets. Stuff is getting really interesting. Fidelity is now going to bat for an ETF on crypto. They're going to get it. It's coming this year. I really believe we're about to see some history right in front of us. So keep our eyes open. And total is going to be our guide. That's the just wrap up here. If we see a close below our local support here, that wouldn't be ideal. Really, to me, though, that's just saying we're going to be taking a longer route. We're likely going to look to backtest that 20 weekly. We're having our 100, 250s. They're all trending up. This has shown virtually no weakness. That is the big takeaway from this video, if you take away one thing. So let's shoot through our charts here. In the comments, guys, if there's any coins that you'd like added to my watch list. So this is my watch list. It's not going to go through every coin in existence. Feel free to comment them. I'll add them. Patrons, it's not a problem. Just keep in mind the chart history of whatever it is you're asking. Please don't ask me to add something that has a week of trading history. We're going to be looking at it on the monthlies, on the weeklies. So preferably, maybe start of 2021 would be the earliest kind of chart history we're looking for. So let's get into it. THETA USDT. Well, weekly resistance above. We see our weekly resistance at $12.86. And we have some kind of supports growing here. We have $4.43, 583. This has a lot of potential here with a this looks like a 1, 2, 3 bottom to me. 1, 2, maybe we haven't seen 3 yet. We could see that test of the 50 weekly before looking to retest that weekly resistance above us. The main concern here for me, and really all I need to say is, well, we're below the 20. I want to see this weekly close above the 20, and we're looking for a retest there. There's definitely going to be something up here in the way. Yeah, it's looking about the $9 range here. This is really looking to paint out what could be a inverse head and shoulders off that 50. That's pretty beautiful. So I don't think the play is here yet. A great entry could be around $5. Let's move it on. Theta BTC, very similar to its dollar pair. These are probably looking to break out simultaneously if they're going to break out. This bodes with what we said about dominance. We see that we're under the 20 weekly, but we're much farther under. We're basically touching the 50. So Theta BTC showing a little more weakness than its USD pair, and that lines up with what we're seeing. So nothing confusing there. TFUEL, let's see, 58 cents as resistance above. We got 25 cents as support. Same thing as its, this is the gas token of Theta. Same situation, probably going to run the same as TFUEL. I'm not going to spend time on that one. Solana, the coin everyone's looking at. This is in BTC pair. So what we're really kind of expecting is we're expecting to see a lot of bearish charts here on the BTC pair as dominance is finally showing some strength, right? That is logical. We don't have a ton of support here. Solana's had a very strong climb on the weekly. I think the only two values that are going to be in play here, I'm not commenting on news or anything like that, is, well, our open on the weekly, slightly above us and below our previous week's open. These two targets likely going to be range bound or providing a range for trading price like we saw previously until we see it break to the upside or downside. Money flow still looking okay. Momentum's looking okay. Do you have bearish divergence? Slight bearish divergence on your high here. I wouldn't touch Solana right now with everything going on with it. We won't get into the new stuff, but let's let them sort that out before we invest. That's my opinion. The SKL USD slightly more bullish here than Solana. Than TFUEL, as we are back above that 20 weekly. We see a weekly resistance, 41.62 cents, currently trading above it. We're looking for a close above here on SKL, close above that weekly resistance, and then we'll be aiming for our golden pocket if we get that close, and that's sitting at 60 to 65 cents. Highly probable target, all-time high to $1.33. If that breaks, we're probably looking for 5. Our 1618 extension sitting right at $5. That's a huge gain. It's a 10x plus. Momentum's okay. RSI, not really enough chart history here. This is going to be a pattern play. Watch that 20 weekly. That's going to be the driver. Silver, man, I had such high hopes for silver in this consolidation. It looks like actually it's making a horizontal channel. That could lead to a bullish break. Not spending time on silver. Oh man, that weekly is awful. Yeah, maybe silver has some more downside in it. But as we said before, we like including other charts just to really... It's like when you order sushi and they give you that ginger and you're like, what am I going to do with this ginger? Am I supposed to eat it? No, it's to clear your palate. That's why we throw in these non-crypto charts, to clear our mental palates, to be able to notice the differences in the charts we're looking at. So RDD USDT, you guys know in the Patreon post, RDD and BTC pair, something I'm looking to add to a really underwater position. It's a very high risk, high reward play. I'm waiting for a little lower here in the BTC pair. We'll probably see that. But in USD, we see we're below the 20 weekly. We have resistance at 0.0037 cents, more macro resistance above 0.085, and support below us at about 0.015. We have not reached our 0.5 retrace nor that golden pocket. Coming very close, though. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that 20 weekly. If it's retaken, I'm going to be looking for 0.053 to 0.057 cents in our golden pocket above. Yeah, don't have in-chart history to work with. Here it is. Hey, my dog's borking. Thanks, Gracie Beans, helping make the video today. So this is RDD and BTC pair, what I was just talking about. So we have 3 sats down here. 3 sats. I posted to the patrons 5 sats is where I'm really going to be looking to add to my position. if I was a smarter man, which as I say, I'm recalculating in my head, I'm going to split this into two positions. I'm going to look to add half of what I intended at 5 sats and half at 3. Guys, please do not go heavy into this. Just because I'm adding to something doesn't mean it's a good idea to make a large position. Proportionately to my portfolio, my add here is going to be super small. It's virtually non-existent. But I can't say no to this, man. I can't say no to this like 3 sat area. RDD traded down to 1 sat in its history all the way back here in 2017 before the run. And you can see what it did during the run. So really, I'm looking to make a small position, and I'm looking to see if we make a similar explosive upside move from 5 sats to the target, or from 5 sats even to the 0.5 retrace. Let's just go with that. 0.5 retrace, that's a 2,000% gain on BTC. You can see why this might be a valuable trade. Really just need to caution you. You got to control that position size here. This is super high risk, super high reward. This coin has not done well since the bull run. 2017 has really not done well. It's a low cap coin. It's not very popular. And so there may be a 2,000% upside gains against Bitcoin. But if you just have, I don't know, you have 0.001, buy 0.001 RDD worth of Bitcoin, and it goes 2,000%. What do you got? You have like 0.1 Bitcoin. That's a great trade. You're not risking much. You have a high upside potential. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to move on from this because I really don't want you guys to like get too fascinated with it. It's just a high risk, high reward. It's going to take patience. It's not a trade that everyone's going to want to take. All right, Quantum BTC. Interesting chart here. We have a few kind of shelving levels. This is not as clean as some of the other charts with its weekly levels here. I'm going to take it from about right there, and we're going to take it from, man, that is not clean. I'm going to take it from about right there. It looks like we have a nice bottoming pattern here with our higher high and higher low already locked in. So we're looking for trading above 0.00168 below there, and we're probably looking for a test of its low again. But if it can hold this 20 weekly, which it's currently holding, we're looking for a test of that resistance at 46,000 sats. And honestly, I mean, this is why I've been telling you guys all day, every day. Look for the stuff that just hasn't really popped off yet, because just to make it back to the highs again, that's like 6x just to the golden pocket. That can be a very high risk to reward trade as well. I like that it's above its moving averages. Money flow is showing a little weakness on the weekly, but we don't have bearish divergence on our high. That's very unusual. And so far, so good. Looks like it's just consolidating. I'm guessing sideways trading until we see a breakout. I would definitely look here for a stop, and I'd be looking for maybe even a test of this 200 weekly that's just spawned above us, basically right back at its May 3rd highs. PAXG, this is just gold, so there's really no real point of looking at it. Just mixing up our brains. ONT BTC, here's another one. Here's another one that I might even look to do something silly with in a super small position. You can see we're just so far away from our highs in BTC evaluation that there's tremendous upside, even just from a dead cat bounce. Like, even just from any kind of relief from selling pressure. Traded down to virtually nothing. Wow, trade down to 4 sats and then it's back up to 2,000. That's pretty wild. I wouldn't recommend this one, honestly. This looks a little janky. 4 fib extension right here from that sell-off lines up right with our golden pocket. I don't know. Golden pocket sitting above. I do... This one just doesn't look good, though. You have this bearish kissing potential. The only good thing about this is, honestly, it capitulated. All the sellers are gone. All the stop losses were hit. And you do have what is a reversal pattern potential. See that at home. This long down wick was capitulation. That's going to really weaken bears here. But I don't see like a good entry. Maybe if 1200 sats-ish area hits, you can look there. But man, this is just an S coin, isn't it? YOLO. 1 BTC. doing things. All right, we got something interesting, something that's not just floored. So right now, here we go. This is why we do these. Right now, 1 BTC actually at weekly support, testing weekly resistance as support right now at 360 sats. There could be an entry right here. Boom. This is why we do this. Here we go. We see 318. This would be maybe the more conservative trader's entry. 318 sats. But I think that there's a position. This is one that won't require as much patience. Honestly, I put stop losses on these guys, but especially when it's in BTC pair, I'm trading these spot. I'm not using leverage. And so the stop losses I don't typically put in place for spot. Instead of using a stop loss and locking in losses when the trade goes the wrong way, I think it's much smarter simply to control our position size. So if I was going to do this on 1 BTC, again, I would make it a small position. And if it went below 313 sats, maybe I'll double down on that position. So I put maybe 50 bucks at it here. And if it drops to 313 sats, maybe I'll put 50 more bucks at it, 315. If it drops through there, well, I just got boned, you know? You just got boned. But you had two really good potential entries. Your maximum risk was that $100. And really, you could just wait. Maybe it never breaks back up to its all-time highs, but even if it trends back down to the median here, about half its valuation against Bitcoin, it's still going to be up in dollars, you know, over time. That's an interesting kind of system that people aren't so aware of in this space. You can really just wait things out if your positions aren't large. So with a small position here at 360, looking to stop below at 314, and then, well, again, I wouldn't really use that stop. I would more so look to double down on a super small position. So 2 times a super small position, a tiny position maybe. Look to take along from there back to that resistance, but there's way more upside potential. That weekly closed at a new high, and as such, we use our fib extension tool and we take a peek at where things can go. 644 sats and 800 for our measured move at 800, or our measured move of the 2 extension 800. That could be a probable trade, which is pretty wild. That'd be a 152% gain in Bitcoin. That is insane. Multiply that by whatever value Bitcoin increases in between then and now. You do have bearish divergence on your highs. That is more kind of suggestive of that 318 area. Money flow actually staying a little healthier than the rest of the market here. There's the trade. This is why we do the weekly. I wish I was going to edit this so I could put this one first. That's great. That's perfect. This is why we do this. We do it on the monthly, we do it on the weekly, and literally, guys, when we do this, the one thing that I'm hoping we find is this. That doesn't guarantee that this trade works, but to catch this on the monthly can be an extremely powerful position. To catch this on the weekly can be an extremely powerful position. The problem is there's just too many charts to look through. Can't be keeping an eye on all of them at all times, right? So that's, I'm hoping some of the value of what we're added, or some of the value added in Patron here is this little insider look at the market. So, dang, 1 BTC, you get the star of the day. You get the star of the day so far. Let's keep ripping. NASDAQ. NASDAQ looking for a recovery. Stupid stonks, man. They just go up. They call Bitcoin a bubble. Look at stonks, man. This is bullshittery. Put this on regular. What is this? What is this? This is like peak 2017 Bitcoin. That's what it is. I still think it's probable we'd see that 20 weekly test at about 14.6 thousand, but it is now in this weekly candle even looking to retest 15.6. Next week is Fed. The Fed notes are coming out. I think we're going to see the big move next week. OMG USDT, one of my favorite coins to say the name of. OMG. Okay. This one's a little janky too. A little janky chart here. This is USD. We haven't seen too many USD charts here. Last week's long bottom wick closing green. Pretty bullish here. We're seeing this red candle found some support right in our golden pocket. Weekly resistance above us at $11.62. What I like here is we're high above the 20, high above the 50, high above the 100. That's some healthy. We are going to have local resistance. Actually, it looks like this is not only local. This is sourced back from April at $9.61. If we break that level, we're definitely looking for that 1162, possibly a test of 1535 at the all-time high. And then if we can break those, we get our extensions. 43.81. Please never ever make a trade based on this when I do these, guys. This is just to show you upside potentials. You have to break the high for that to even be in play, and before then, if we see a new low, that's out the window. So I think this is looking strong. It's holding above its golden pockets, similar to total market cap, so I'm digging it. I don't see a play here necessarily. There may be... No, we already tested that. That wick really, if you look left, tested both these peaks, previous resistance as support. This is going to be a knife play. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're in it, things are looking good, so congrats. Neo BTCs. Bullish divergence off this low price, not responding. And it says Nano. I think I keep saying Neo instead of Nano. Money flow looks awful, though. Huh. I remember because in dollar pair, it looked pretty decent. Now we're seeing garbage here on the BTC pair. Rejected from the 20. Test of the 50 at 1100 sats looks very likely. If you lose that, your 100 is honestly all you got. We saw the 200 spawn. Price went up and met it and rejected. A retest of 23, maybe. Yeah, retest of that 200 weekly is pretty likely, I would say. But again, in BTC pair, this coin is so floored. Someone commented on the last monthly video and said, hey, you said Nano could go to like $1,000, and I didn't even realize I said it. And they're like, that would mean all these things, blah, blah, blah. That's not realistic. And it's like, you know, realism is not, it doesn't have a place here. We see right here, Nano is so floored. A ton of coins. In fact, not the majority, maybe the majority, are at new BTC all-time highs in this cycle. Nano is 2,500% back to its high. We're talking about measured moves to the upside. This is where that potential is. He was like, that's not possible. That's not realistic. Our 1618 is a 19,000% move from right here. That doesn't guarantee this is going to happen. It may never break that high again, but that's that potential. That's why we really want to be reluctant using the words realistic and possible. Doesn't mean we should make wild bets, but reality is trying to apply rationality to an irrational bull market. It's just a losing practice. It just doesn't make much sense to me. Let's look at Maker here on the week. It's up trading at highs, but this is a little ugly here. Weekly money flow is not as nice as I would have expected. Bearish divergence on the highs. This is not looking too great. It does look like it's going to come back to test the 20 weekly at 3,200. If it can retake that, it's going to run into some of this local resistance here in the 3,800 area. But if it can retake it, I think that it's really ultimately heading to 52 or 5,284. We have a pretty strong support down here that was resistance, now support at 2,000. This would be a better entry for me in general. This chart is just a little janky. You know, it has this very large consolidation. It broke up, and now it's painting what kind of looks like a head and shoulders. I wouldn't really recommend Maker. I think the play would be at 2,000, though, if I was going to look to enter. Nothing against the coin. This flat bottoming here. Basically, this is identical to what ADA was doing before ADA broke out. It was doing this like slightly higher low thing. So we could see Maker continue to do this, and that would be fine. It really is going to have to hold this low, though, and it's going to have to start trying to the upside. My confidence isn't there yet. Mana BTC. Wow, this is not all the chart history. But in the last year or so, it does look to be very coiled. It does have the potentials of an inverse head and shoulder setup. I'm not going to do TA on this because there's a lot more chart history, and we're not going to get the whole picture here. But we see potentially some kind of neckline establishing. We have our lows coming up. And we're going to look for this pattern. I have that real chart somewhere. Kin USD. Oh, hooray. Here's a spicy tamale. Here's a spicy. This is a similar setup to something we saw in the monthly. I forget what it was. We have a rally into these small-bodied red candles, and it seems to be losing momentum as the bodies of the candles are getting smaller. There may be an entry here at, I don't even know how to describe this, 40831, that 200 weekly moving average. This is another one where if I was going to add to my position, I would split it into two, looking to add one one entry at the 200 and one at the 100, because this is looking spicy. This is a very, very big bowl. We could be seeing a cup form here. We don't have it yet, though. One of the few things looking very strong on the weekly money flow, though, there's something here. Let's see that 200. Stopping it. That's such a big loss. There we go. And just routing it back up to here. Something like this. That's a huge risk to reward. I'd probably crank that down. Again, no leverage here. This would be definitely spot. As you can see, 43% downside. Leverage really wouldn't make sense, but you're looking for a huge upside. We don't have anything yet there, but I think the entries will be soon. We can't see this on TradingView for some reason in BTC pair, because TradingView doesn't like displaying that many zeros. So we'll move on to ICX. ICX looks like it's built quite a strong floor below it here against Bitcoin. 1,467 sats, and now battling again with this same resistance above at 52.66. I like this. I like this a lot. I believe it's very unlikely that this floor breaks. And look, one of our favorite signals, Tom Crown Original, just popped up here. Our 200 weekly coming out of nowhere. Price has an extremely strong setup here with our moving averages, the 20, the 50, and the 100 overlapping with that powerful setup. And honestly, I don't know how this plays out. It might reject here, then look to move to the upside. But that 200 weekly moving average is definitely looking to be punched on ICX BTC, at least in the way it's looking right now. I think the probability of it reaching up here to 10,000 sats is higher than trading below that 1,400 area. So there's definitely something fancy. We may have missed the entry here. We didn't see this last week. But I'm looking for upside. I wouldn't like to buy on this candle. Look for some red first. I don't think that this is the most likely path. I think the most likely path is one that involves consolidating, creating that beautiful pattern that we always look for. I'm bullish on this, though. I think the entry is somewhere to be found. Hot. Not too much here. Let's just give the levels. Hot USD 0.005 cents is our ultimate support below. We do have something here on the weekly that we tested last week, and the 20 weekly is directly above, and that's 0.086 cents. We're not going to have enough chart history to do much here. I'll keep an eye on this level. This may provide a great entry. We may see some kind of double bottoming here. We can maybe play something like that just right back to that resistance, previous high. That's looking pretty good. Moving along. Hot and BTC pair, we see a higher high after a very low low. Olay. That's fractions of a Satoshi. Above the 20 though. Let's look for the retracement. Boom. Keep an eye here on that 20 weekly. Anything that's just flirting with the 20 weekly right now, I would be weary of. I'm looking for stronger setups than that, like we saw earlier on our star chart. On that weekly level, back tested. Now we're at it. That's the kind of trades we're looking for, not necessarily these flirting with the 20s. ETC did set a new high in May. Yeah, that almost seems like a year ago now. It had resistance at 43. It looks like we back tested that as support here now on the weekly. Battling with the 20. If you could break through the 20, you're looking to make a local retracement here. You already hit that 0.5, so that might not be too generous. $91. If you reject from that 20, things can get pretty bad here. Things can definitely get bad. I would be looking down near the 100 weekly if we get a rejection from the 20. Possibly only back to the low. You can see the 50 weekly might be there to provide support. And market cipher actually looking beast. We see money flow beasting in still. MACD's a little undecided here. Let's go ahead and just do it like this. I think that the double bottom play could be possible. Why does it always do this now? It like drags the stop loss down to 0. Let's do something like that. I think that'll do. Moving along, BTG USD. BTG USD had a crazy rally before pulling back here in the cycle. Traded down from $3.60 all the way to 171 from March 2020 until May 2021. Now it's kind of, it hit that golden pocket and it seems to have lost some of its energy. There's definitely a support at this 382 fib. That might be the comfortable position. BTTG is a fork of Bitcoin. I believe it's supposed to be ASIC resistant or GPU centered. It's not a bad coin. People don't talk about it. It's not very exciting, but it's a good coin in my mind. It's above the 20. That's cool. I think the entry is at 32 if you get it. You can see a golden cross, though not typically a valid one, just occurred right now, last week, and maybe it is looking to move back. Oh man, right off that golden pocket again. So this is a fractal for sure. We see a high to our low, it returns to the golden pocket. And then from the golden pocket, we see a high to the low, and it returns again to its golden pocket. So this has done the exact same thing twice in a row. Literally the exact same move. High to low, golden pocket. High to low, golden pocket. Maybe we'll see that again. High to low, golden pocket. It does look like it's coiling up. I don't think the entry's here quite yet. Keep an eye on the 20 weekly. As usual, that's going to be the important factor. Wow, money flow is ugly. This is very ugly. ETC, BTC. Did set a new high, but that looks like a pretty savage rejection. Though it is now seemingly consolidating above that support. What I don't like here, and what makes me kind of bearish actually on this, is our highs are coming down and our lows look to be establishing a floor, making that ugly pattern we don't like. So I have a little bearish bias here on this one, especially with money flow so red. It's really not showing any kind of recovery. EGLD USD. This is looking awesome on our monthly review. Let's see where we are on the weekly. Oh, we're in beautiful. Effing beautiful. We got a bullish kissing going on with our 2050. We might have a back test of our previous high as support. I think that there's definitely a position to be played here. Your stop loss is going to be kind of hard to figure out. There's no clearly defined support here. I would maybe look to stop under 188. And where do you even look to take profit after that? This thing is set up for explosive gains to the upside if it can just hold that high. Right here, 666. There we go. That's a fancy number. That touch to the 20 weekly, so powerful. Look for these setups when you see bullish action and then intra-week pulled down to a major average like this before shooting back up. It's an extremely bullish sign. Money flow is not perfect, but not terrible. Momentum looks good. We do have bearish divergence on our highs, but a move to that 1618 extension likely to remove that from play. I think the dollar looks like crap. Money flow actually looks good on the weekly, though. I don't like to see it. This to me looks like a momentum leg to the downside, maybe similar to this. I don't like the USD right now. Dixie. Dot. Okay, dot. Man, our trade beasted from that $10 area to 30. Potential bullish kissing. We have that same setup as EGLD. Candle moved down, tested the weekly, bounced. I think we're moving to 44 bucks on dot here. That does not seem crazy to me. If we can break that high, might be looking for the three-figure area. We'll see what happens at 50. This 44 to 50 area is going to definitely have some resistance. Maybe we see price move back, kind of do something like this. That would be pretty fitting. We get that same pattern. It's all we're looking for all day. It's the best pattern in crypto. Flat top, flat bottom. Dash BTC. You got strong support here below you against Bitcoin valuation at 00361. Looks like pretty strong resistance above you, too. This definitely looks sandwiched here. Resistance above 0058. Money flow is looking to roll over, but not doing anytime soon. An entry here, I would look down here at this weekly support level. A break of this, I think you can have a pretty tight stop, because a break of this sets you up for a very ugly head and shoulders pattern, especially with those moving averages like that. So I'd look to maybe stop below either the left low, this low or that low, more conservatively up here, And we see the 100 weekly coming into play, so let's bet that that's coming back to resistance there. I think that's pretty smart. BCH USD performing a golden cross simultaneously with Bitcoin, but underneath its 20 weekly moving average, not building confidence for me. Momentum not there yet. Money flow looking good though. BCH remaining strong, it seems. I think the entry though is a little lower at that cross. We haven't seen it tested, so I think that's the play. What does it do that? I think that's the play. Looking perhaps to stop that position just below the 100. And you'd probably be looking to retest the all-time high there. Something like that. That is be a very nice structure. I like that money flow. Man, BAT just can't catch a break. It just can't catch a break. You're just stuck in these moving averages. BAT is a no-go for me right now. I don't like it below the 20. I don't like this 50 and 100 and 200 trending down. It does not look to be positioning itself to gain strength against Bitcoin. Money flow reflecting that as well. Despite MACD finally rolling over to the buying side. That's a pass for me on BAT this week. BNB USD. We have weekly resistance at $662, and we have a nice little support here at 287. That's a huge range. What I like is we're holding the 20. We have a local weekly resistance that the 20 is currently at. It seems like price has held that or respected that for now. There definitely could be a play using just the low we saw. Back to that weekly resistance here. That's a 7-to-1 risk to reward. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Money flow looks good, just like BCH. Interesting. Watch that 20. You don't want to close below the 20. So far, so good. .BTC reflecting what the USD pair is showing us. We had that exact same test of the 20 weekly on BTC pairs we did in USD. We saw buying. I think we're looking for a test to the high. I think we're looking for 9,136 sats. It's already retraced way past the golden pocket. It's looking for blood. DCR. Yes, we didn't get this one. Here we go. This is clear as day. It is struggling with the 20, and we haven't been a fan of that here today, but we have a very clear trading pattern potential. The 50 weekly lining up with our $114 support that's been tested. We have a lower high. I'm looking for a test of that 50. It would be the second test. If it doesn't hold, that's probably Bale City. But then you get to hold this through what is looking like probably new all-time highs. Just 1,618 at $500. I think that's very reasonable. That's a very high risk to reward trade. I dig it. DGB cannot catch a break here. Cannot catch a break. Can't catch a break. I don't even have anything. Yeah, Parade holds a 50 weekly. Sorry, DGB. You're one of my favorite coins. In BTC pair, you look great. You're very bottom. There's a ton of upside potential, but you're struggling. I don't have anything positive to say about this quite yet. Weekly's even looking to roll over. Whew. Might see a capitulation event. MATIC USDT. Boom. $1.86 above, and boom, 78 cents below. We're above the 20. This baby is looking, I think she's looking to break out. I think she is. $6.70 would be our target above for our 1618. $7.73 at our 2 measured move. As long as this stays above the 20, we're looking for a retest of its all-time high at 270, potentially even farther upside targets. Money flow could be better. Could be better here. In BTC pair, looking pretty similar. Let's see. Did it do its retrace? Perfect. Perfect golden pocket retrace, of course. It's always hard to recommend something like this because it's a knife, but this doesn't look that bad. Responded well to its golden pocket. Maybe looking to make a move back to that weekly resistance, 3,300 sats. DOGE USDT. 57 cents above. 18.16 cents below. You're under the 20 weekly. That's not ideal. Your money flow does not look good. That's not ideal. Neither is MACD. Honestly, this is looking more bearish. I'm leaning towards that test of the 18.1 cent area. Weird. Weird. And we see that in BTC pair. Could pull off a double bottom at 475 sats. And we could see a reversal, move back to the 20 weekly. If you retake it, it's likely sitting at that resistance on the weekly. But if you can retake that, then you can start to trudge back up. I think that, honestly, I think that Doge has seen its cycle high against Bitcoin pair. It is possible that it retests. It is possible it sets a new high, but I think the probability weighs against it. Its explosive growth against Bitcoin is not something that is sustainable by anything. It's an 8,000% just from December. That rocketed it into the top 10. That risk to reward isn't there for me. It's just not there. BNB BTC. A little ugly with this flat bottom. I'm going to lean bearish on this one. Let's see money flow. Money flow, though, disagreeing with me. MACD disagreeing with me. I don't have much to comment on this. Watch that 20 weekly. BCH BTC. USD pair is looking strong. And so here we are at the golden pocket still from last time we even put this here. There's a lot of upside potential. The 200 weekly just starting, just existing, spawning at 0.5 BTC. Man, that's probably where you're looking. Whenever this is done consolidating, that's where you're looking. 0.5. AION. No one cares about this one. Right in the middle. Right in the middle of what you're doing here. You're below the 20. You have support at 11. Local resistance at 22. And our upper band resistance at 50 cents. Money flow looks like crap. Really, this chart doesn't look great, unfortunately. I think it's still cooking. ADABTC. There we are. Still giving us a weekly entry, it seems. Still giving us a weekly entry. Just under 5,000 Satoshis. We saw a pullback, a doji, and we don't have a lower low into this weekly close. We see a lower low, things can get ugly. We haven't tested the 20 here after this new high, but a test of the all-time high is just so, it's so hard to not expect here. Weekly resistance from our highest candle closes has rejected price. I think that we're going to see, really, I just think we're going to see it consolidate here, maybe move sideways, and then eventually break, look to test that all-time high. LTC, USD, my baby, has been playing games with my heart. Quit doing that. Above the 20 weekly, that'd be a nice close. We see that weekly support held at 174 and weekly resistance held at 232. So this is right now channel bound, moving sideways. Moving sideways. What else do we got? Hasn't quite gone to the golden pocket. That's odd. Very odd. I'm going to refrain from too much comments on LTC here. I want to see this weekly close above 20 weekly. That's 180 bucks, pretty much where it is right now. And then I think more can be done there. Jeez, BTC pair, this is an ugly candle, man. I can't recommend LTC to you guys today. Though we do see the weekly money flow rolling over again, it's just taking its dandy time. If you don't have any LTC, I think it makes sense to have a position. If you see 0033 sats hit, it might go lower. So I wouldn't make one position. I would maybe buy in half, wait to see if it does break. But that could be a generational entry there. But we're not seeing it yet. ETHUSD double topped 4K, just as we say. Looking good. Rejected the bearish engulf, still above the 20. And what do we see on money flow? Not the best, but still not awful. Bearish divergence, arguably on this high. Really what we want to see is Ethereum hold that 20 weekly. I know it sounds so lame. We just keep re-saying it. So let's say 2710. I believe it's going to hold that, to be honest, and I believe it is looking for new all-time highs. Where would our next targets be? 7,000. You ready for 7,000 Ethereum? I think it's coming this year. BTC pair reflects that so well. Look at this beautiful little handle. Look at this giant cup. It's like this thing's going into beast mode. It's going into beast mode. It's above the 20 weekly, chilling at resistance. The real resistance is 0.77. The weekly locally here, looking at 0.765. RSI, really don't have any issues with it. Money flow could be better, but FBTC is definitely, in my opinion, in this cycle looking for that 0.1 to 0.11 area. That's our 1618 move from here. That would make sense. It lines up perfectly with our weekly resistance. I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen, guys, but this is the future. It's coming. $88 USD, 230 as support this week. Yeah, you could even maybe get an entry in there. Still looking to stop below probably the 20 weekly. Money flow is actually pretty ugly. BTC pair was looking a little fresher. Bitcoin dominance, there we are. Potential double bottom here. We've been waiting for this retrace forever, and this double bottom is the first sign of it we've had. You can see that this is a significant move. If this is a double bottom, we see a reversal, all we need really is a break of this local high in August. Moving back to the 58, 59 area, that golden pocket. To be more conservative, 54. This will spell blood in BTC pair for alts. We'd expect to see some kind of rally as we've seen in our previous run, in the bull run, before falling down lower. I think that's still coming. It's definitely thrown us through a loop here, but it does look like it is coming still. These are just BTC charts. HBAR USD, I posted about this on the trade setups, but you guys, I'll throw it up again. I'm looking for $1. I'm looking for $1. We already broke the all-time high. I'm looking for this 1618 extension, $1.50. The more aggressive target above is our measured move. Very likely here. You've retraced your entire. You made a move to the upside. You retraced and you completely regained what you had lost. That's a bullish. That's a bullish look. We're already 46 minutes in. How many of these can I get? STMX weekly resistance looking very similar to the monthly at that 6.6 cents. Support below, probably a little lower here on the weekly, looking at 0.14. Yeah, you're above the 20 weekly. This is looking decent. And not enough chart history. Looking decent. CELR. Ooh, CELR put in a new all-time high. 28 cents for our 1618, 54 for our measured move above. This is looking great. Same candle setup where you had an intra-week bearish engulfed candle, hit the 20, blew up. Now you're at a new high. Bullish lean here. You have the 2050 potentially kissing. Money flow looks awful, but I don't care. We can ignore that at times. This looks solid. Look for, honestly, on CLR this week, you're just looking for a close above 8.8 cents. If you do, that 28 cents becomes very, very close. Link still fighting the same battles. Looking to retest 52. Looking to retest 52. Held support. Any weekly close above 28 is going to make me a little bearish on Link, but until then, I'm looking for that 52. Luna reaches higher into last week before a tiny red candle now. We have a bullish kissing setup on the weekly. Luna target for me, $65. Let's roll. Again, on the weekly candles, guys, these setups can take 10 weeks to play. We're looking at big candles, and so anything very bullish that we see isn't going to be right away. It could, but almost never. Last week with that back test, the all-time high. Now a potentially or a threatening bearish engulfing weekly that's being bought up. If this closes above 39 this week, it's just on the road to 65. There's no questions asked in my mind there. There you are. ADR BTC, yes. Yes, 2 weeks ago, so a new local high. Looks like support could be holding here at 738 sats. I'm looking for test that 200 weekly. MicroStrategy, and just above the 20. Not bad. Sol USD. Anyway, that's 50 minutes. I think I'm going to cut it there. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll do more of this for sure. Comment on what you want in the future ones. I'll see you soon.